Gavin, the next stop here is to show the audience another example of how the democratization or the broader use of digitalization is taking place. In this case, we're with David from Multivista, and they've got some great ideas and visions of how they're taking this to help improve the construction process.
Sure. Well, Multivista has long since recognized that on a single construction project, we have to recognize something one very strong truth, that the stakeholders are all across the board, right? And so when we talk about democratization of the data, of the intelligence, of the information we're providing, we have to recognize that there's superintendents, and there's project managers, and there's the city inspector, and these folks on the site and in the field, but then there's insurers, there's lawyers, there's lenders, there's investors, there's the executive who owns the healthcare system who's having this project built, and that's a lot of different people with a lot of different viewpoints looking at the world through a lot of different lenses. So when we talk about high tech, the old sledgehammer and fly example, the most powerful thing on any given day is not necessarily the answer, and sometimes it's a disto, and sometimes it's the terrestrial station, and sometimes it's the mobile backpack. These are all different solutions that are going to yield a certain data, and then the challenge is really, and the journey we're on, is to marry the practical side. Again, a lawyer's not going to use a point cloud for evidence. He's going to want to see a picture, which is what we do, right? The engineer obviously is going to want to see a point cloud. So we need to converge those two worlds, come up with a sort of a single unified deliverable or vision that brings all this data to the forefront, but gives access and usability on a very on-demand basis based on what your needs are. So that's the vision.
Yeah. And it's perfect, right? I think if you take a look at what Multivista is doing and the plans that they have, it's a real example of how geospatial information is becoming utilized in a much more widespread fashion with great results, great benefits to society and the customers. Great example.
We have brick and mortar locations everywhere we serve, and we have field teams, construction guys who are on site all day, every day on hundreds of construction sites, capturing scope of work, which is how our industry speaks. We marry that with, I'll call it pragmatic technology, photo, video, webcam live feeds, and we integrate those onto what has become a widely lauded, super usable software platform via the web. And those three things come together, and we make sure we do deliver all the information. So we get both temporal and location information, time and location, and we index that to these plans. So trying to cut to the chase without giving you a demo, basically you log into our software as a user, as a stakeholder, you're going to click on a wall, and you're going to see the photographic history of that wall, how it came together, or you're going to see very key milestones, literally all the MEP right after you're done roughing in, and you're going to be able to see that. And you can reorganize the information by time and location as you see fit. We are try to be end-to-end, which is say we get the information you want, which is we consult and find out scope of work. Healthcare guys want different stuff than apartment guys, as an example, vastly different stuff. And then we serve it up in a deliverable, even that is in different ways. Then ultimately, we facilitate facilities turnover and client training. And this is at every single location, everywhere we operate, now 55 plus locations. Again, the practical thing is key, but it's also key to the democratic, right? I talked about lawyers and executives.
Yeah.
And everyone in real vertical construction, not periphery, not engineering. That's some of these guys aren't highly skilled. Everybody in vertical construction can use a plan, a floor plan, which is our interface, and a photo. They can all consume it across the board. Now, that doesn't mean it's not conducive to more robust intelligence behind the scenes.